with us from the right, it's Ford O'Connell, a former McCain-Palin campaign advisor. That must have been a fun job. And author of Hail Mary, the 10-step playbook for Republican recovery. And from the left, it's Steve Laser, host of the radio show Making Sense with Steve Laser. And first up, gentleman of the evening. Man, it's an all-male panel. I like my odds. But Obamacare. The president can't shake it. It's like a wad of toilet paper stuck to the bottom of a shoe.
Had this been a private company building healthcare.gov, everyone would have expected beta testers, someone to actually take a look at this sometime before it rolled out, maybe a narrow, well-defined set of requirements. None of that happened. They did the regular old government kitchen sink approach to software development, and yet they got a predictably bad result.
Yeah, $600 million.
Yeah.
All right, so
677 according to Gal.
yeah, that's almost $700 million.
That's what more than LinkedIn's sank in, more than Facebook and Twitter went through in the first 5 years. We're only at 3.5 now.
Kind of incredible.
But you want the best part is, you hear that clapping? That's Republicans in the background going, my gosh, man, if I can keep the car between the two white lines, I can retake the Senate in 2014. And Landrew's cowering, going, oh my gosh, somebody please save me. But guess what? Here's the deal.
All right, baby, break it down, because I know you're getting all serious with the quiet voice. Yes,
800,000 Medicaid. Let's give you 1.2 million. We'll give you the 800,000 Medicaid. Through 2 months, we've actually had a net increase in the number of uninsured Americans. Oh my gosh, what an achievement. The president, greatest thing, good for his legacy.
So this is the repeal narrative, and I've heard this a lot.
I didn't say the repeal.
This is my big qualm with Republicans, and I agree. Healthcare.gov, total debacle.
Oh, the website's just the best part,
where
though.
is the replacement narrative? Had I seen Republicans
Who
putting
says
a
that the
tenth
role of the
energy
government is to actually take care of health care, though?
Again, well, if that's the case, that's fine.
No, that's
what is repeal?
Okay, but
no, exactly. Gallup says 56% of Americans say
you're actually arguing for
as much as I like man-on-man action, I want to hear what Steve has to say. Before I disagree with you, go ahead.
23 million to 39 million people have visited the website. As you said, 1.2 million have gone through the sign-up process. You know what this says to me? First of all, it says to me that Americans need health care. They want to sign up for Obamacare. And quite frankly, over the next couple of few months, they're going to get to do that. And I'll tell you, Ford, I know, is looking forward to 2014, but you know what? I'm looking forward to 2014, because by the time 2014 comes around, just about every single American in this country is going to know somebody who didn't have health care before this website, before this program.
I disagree with you.
Okay, now, Steve, okay, hold on 1 second, folks. I'm going to let you get to this, baby, because I know you're chomping at the bit. You're foaming at the mouth.
I'm champing.
I like your passion. But hold on. I'm losing my health care January 1st. It's done. I have tried to get replacement insurance. I haven't gotten it yet. And it is a direct result of Obamacare. It wasn't junk insurance. It was great insurance. I really liked it. But what am I going to do? What are you going to tell me, an average mom with 2 kids? Have fun, sister?
No, you have another 2 to 3 months to sign up through the exchange. You're going to be able to do that. You're going to get a great health insurance program through the exchange. And, most of the folks actually who have been in that situation, Media Matters, the company went back and talked to them all, and it's mostly the ones who were upset.
That's a trustworthy organization.
They are very trustworthy.
Media Matters. Oh, you know what? That's where I get all my facts and
But those folks who
guidance.
initially complained, they actually hadn't checked the exchange.
If you're going to live and die, if you're going to live and die by those anecdotes, you're going to die.
And they found out what they qualified for. They were actually quite happy with what they qualified for.
Put the Republicans back into power, and it's sort of like 1980 with the hostages. We'll bring home the hostages. We'll fix the problem.
We're talking about independents. 59% of independents, and this is what keeping Democrats up at night, think that they prefer what would happen in 2010. These are terrible, terrible political numbers, and they have ramifications. They are terrible numbers.
Okay,
those numbers don't disturb me at all. We're at least 2 months away from those policies going into effect.
Before everybody else learning that their situation is going to get worse.
I'm looking forward to it.
You've got 5 times more people kicked off insurance than you put on in Medicaid, and Medicaid doesn't even go to the sustainability of the exchange.
It's just the beginning. By the time these folks get on, we're going to be in good shape.
Successfully have Democrats playing statistical dodgeball. I still don't see you guys articulating and getting behind an actual program that can improve matters. As Matt already pointed out, the status quo was a problem. 200,000 people a year prior to Obamacare dying because of medical mistakes, preventable medical injuries. That's the kind of healthcare system we had, along with price inflation that was totally unsustainable. The status quo before
but you're not
wasn't an
actually
option.
talking about
what are the
improving
solutions?
But in addition to those
Look, what I'm trying to
200,000 that were dying
look,
because
we need
of,
cost
because of
containment
mistakes.
You guys don't have an answer for the 200,000.
Yes, well, listen,
No,
50 to
Republicans are just-
60,000 were probably
Republicans are just
dying because they didn't have health
waiting for the
care
midterm
at all.
elections.
They have to.
But what are
They
you
have
gonna
no
do when we
choice.
get there?
They have no choice.
Well,
but to
200
wait
plus
them.
60.
We're
So
going
we're
to have to
talking
go in
about
there and go
260.
for a cost
Seriously, a
containment.
bunch of dudes. What is it? A hammer swinging contest? I grew up in Oregon. It's a logging reference. Elizabeth Warren. It is. She's striking back, creating a rift in the Democratic Party that lots of donkeys would love to heal before the midterms. Speaking of which, is she right? Or is she just being a jackass? We'll talk about it next on The Independent.
But Democrats
Keep it blue, then.
have stopped talking about this to any degree, and Republicans have largely stopped talking about it as well, except kind of on the side, not really actually trying to own it or stand in front of it. I think that's a really real problem going forward because everybody, Congressional Budget Office, the President of the United States, everybody says, long-term, this thing is sinking us. So I'm waiting for someone to deal with it instead of politicking the other way.
Ford, you're doing the pinchy fingers, which means you have a point. Let's go.
I want to enter a new term in the political vernacular, and that's dino. We've got two things here. We've got basically economic populists, which Elizabeth Warren represents, and then economic realists, which is more of the Clinton wing of the party. That's not an endorsement for Clinton. But I'm going to say this. These guys
gonna go down
don't
as the
care
second most
what
popular
it
president of the 20th
costs.
century.
It's all about the social good, rule of law. Balance sheets don't matter. That's what these guys are doing. And essentially, she can say, well, it's not going to go bankrupt by 2031. Yeah, you wonder what it does to expand it the way she wants to do it? It's $760 billion over 10 years for basically millennials and Generation Xers, and then another $760 billion on businesses. We can barely hire people. You know what that's going to do to everybody?
Yes, it's going to cripple small businesses.
You know, this is what they say. The rich can pay a little more. Let's break up the big banks. It's all for the greater good. You wonder what's going to happen to America?
Well, she also wants to raise the federal minimum wage. She's one of those $15 an hour people, but that ultimately hurts poor people.
Well, let's back up Elizabeth for a second here. Why shouldn't someone who makes $114,000 pay on that marginal dollar the same amount that someone who makes $15,000 pays in FICA taxes if that actuarially fixes the problem? What's your argument against that?
Well, I don't know that it actually fixes the problem. If I know that it does, no, but if it does, then maybe we should investigate that. But look, we need to investigate a way. This is going to drop, what, by 2031? I mean, what else are we going to do? And remember, this is an outdated program. When Social Security started, what was the first year, 1935? 57,000 people on it. It's ballooned up to 57 million. I mean, you cannot, and given the fact that we have, what, one worker paying out for 3 beneficiaries, you can't control
And they used to be
the demography's off,
yeah.
but you see what I'm saying?
And
I don't buy that.
And you know what? There used to be pensions. This is the big problem. Americans all had pensions through their jobs. Social Security is not supposed to be what everybody has to live on. That's the problem. And I'd really like to see a bipartisan solution to how we get Americans some sort of pension, some sort of retirement that they can all live on so we don't have to rely so much on Social Security.
Well, why don't you make them a little bit more private so people have some say in their economic future? Why is that such a foul premise?
They're using their savings to get through hard times.
And they're going to start eating babies. And that is the great tragedy of the American political landscape. And that's the memo.